All right, how y'all doing today? See, you got the camera working. Yeah. All right, got some TA over here. My TA and stuff that I just spend. I spend a lot of time on this stuff and trying to get it right. I like to I like to do a lot of figuring, right? When it comes to this kind of stuff. So too bad I can't get the camera looking at me, but maybe sometime in the future. Um, but what I do have here is on the weekly. I already knew, like I knew as soon as it gets in this area, it's going to be one or two choices, right? One, it's going to shoot up past it, right? Retest it, and then continue moving forward. This area right here, this is kind of like where the hole is, the gap is, right? Um, TA says on the order block, it's going to be more selling than buying on the weekly. And then you got one over here that says more buying than selling on the weekly as well. Um, it holds around 21%. That's around, what's it, 515 million dollars within that one. Still holding its uptrend, right? I expect it to consolidate in this area right here before it pops up, breaks through that order block, moves forward. The time frame for the next trough, right? We're going to be using cycle analysis from the SPY. I originally had one up here for the healthcare sector, but I don't know if it really plays too much of a part. It really doesn't connect too well. So the SPY is like, a no-brainer. You want to have that. You could always go back to using maybe, the small caps growth ETF or just, the Russell 2000 ETF, have that on there. But as of right now, this is the way I want it. So we're going to go with it. Um, let's see here. This is it's fun to see how the cycle analysis on the weekly for Clov and the cycle analysis on the SPY both pretty much came together right here at the 60 cents low, right? See how they don't really do that often. The next time they do, it's going to be right over here in September 2025. That's going to be next year. So yeah, I expected this move to happen, right? I expected to see some kind of pullback. I expected this right here, right, to turn over red. That was my expectations. I knew it was going to happen, just didn't know exactly when it was going to happen. So for clarity's sake, right, I went ahead and got the KDJ. I used to use the KDJ on Webull back when I was studying all the technical analysis tools that they had, all the technical indicators, the sub indicators, chart indicators, and everything like that. Now, I stopped using the KDJ indicator because I liked was the RSI stochastic indicator better than the KDJ. It just it incorporated with my analysis to a more precise level. So I stopped using it, even though it did a good job for what it was doing. It's just I preferred it, and then I stopped using it once I got to the trading view. I started expanding my horizons on what indicators are available. We got new tech coming out, right? We are in a technical revolution. Like, all these indicators, everything that we know now is kind of like saying, well, yeah, I know the pager exists at one point in time. I know payphones exist, but now we got cell phones. We got computers in our pockets, right? I mean, tech is going to keep on getting better. It's going to keep on moving forward. These indicators one day, depending on how fast new ones are made and how fast things develop, they're going to be considered antiques, just like the RSI indicator is an antique. Like, God, some of those indicators on TradingView have been around for like 20, 30, 40 fucking years. Those fucking things are old. They're out of date. I mean, it's good to learn from somewhere. Everyone has to start from somewhere, but like, this is what's now. It's like, I love retro gaming, right? But eventually I need to really be on, get the was it 3 going or something, get on some virtual reality. That's the future. that's the direction that we're going. We don't go backwards, we go forwards, right? So yeah, being said, that's pretty much where it's going. So we had a crossover here with the KDJ, and you can see that it started sloping right here, started creating that slope, and then it really went at it right here, right, and then boom, there you go. So like it's topping. You got the this right here kind of works as like the MACD histogram, right? So it's a histogram. Um, so you can see how it rolled over and faded and went negative right there, right? So let's pull it up. See negative. There you go. So it rolled over, right? Um, you can get a better view of the 3-day chart, the one that I like to use. And we did have a buy signal here on the weekly, and then it looks like there was a liquidity grab right there. This red box is still maintaining its upward trend. That's the most important part, is the trend. Trend is your friend, no matter what. Just like, well, you can't see it. I would have to run a back testing scenario, but way back here, right, throughout all this mess, that this trend was telling you, yeah, we're going down. The trend is your friend. Yep, we're going down. The trend is your friend. Then it kind of like stabilized a little bit right here. Then it went down even further. And you can see the negative cash flow. You can see the oscillations from the hyperwave. You can see all this. It's all data. It's all visible. It's all there. You can see it. It's not. You don't take a genius to understand this kind of stuff, but it does take some type of, I want to, right? So it does take that. You have to be willing to learn, right? Um, so yeah, that's what I'm looking at here in this weekly analysis on the weekly chart. We are rolling over. We're coming down. There's going to be a breath being taken here. How far it goes? Probably going to have to look at a smaller time frame. All right. So let's put this bad boy on the 3-day, my preferred time frame, right? So you can see how it was a continuation, right? So it took a breath, continuation, took a breath, continuation, took a breath. Over here, we are in overflow, which is the positive sign, you know. Um, that means there's a lot of money coming in, right? So overflow on the cash flow, still, got a positive structure going on here. It loses it when it falls, when the cloud falls beneath the average line, right? Consider this to be like the average direction it would be going into if it sustains itself, right? Like this one here had it, but it's taking it off of a wider span. So then it tries to rebalance itself there. Um, but yeah, as long as it continues to remain above this line with overflow, that's a bullish sign. It can just have a small pullback and then pop to the upside, right? You got the 200-day moving average here. You got the yellow one is the 1-day, 10 or simple moving averages. 1-day, 10, 21, 40, 200. Over here, this is the 200 right here. So if you want to like do it equal to it, it would be somewhere right there. So the 200, the algos on it is suggesting it's going to go up. It's going to go into positive territory um, in the future. But I believe we should have some kind of consolidation within this triangle right here. This is where consolidation point. That's what I'm looking for. It's where the 40-day right meets a downtrend like scenario, right? So this is a consolidation zone. Where it finds its bottom, I have some Fibonacci's over here, 184. I have one, that's going to be the 61%, or 0.61, right? Point 5 is going to be the 220, and we are currently sitting at the 0.38, which is going to be the 257. right? So those are the areas that I'm looking for. Worst case scenario, we get down to this 0.78. It's going to be around the 130-ish, $1.30-ish area. Now, where time comes in, forward thinking, right? Forward thinking, where time comes into play and algos, right? We're going to be looking for some type of bottoming in. You got the SPY, you have the Clov itself right here, you have the algos here and here. So we want to do margin of error. It's going to be 3 bars to the left, or candlesticks to the left, candlesticks to the right. That's going to be the margin of error with cycle analysis. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3. It's going to be within October on cycle 1, 2, 3. Yeah. It's going to be October the 2nd, right? On the 3-day, right? And then 1, 2, 3. It's going to be November the 26th. So I expect the it to find support somewhere within that time frame, right? Somewhere within that. I need to see the breadth, or I need to see a breadth. I need to see this indicator roll down negative, right? Regardless if we go sideways, we can go sideways with this indicator go down negative, right? And then eventually find itself, and then turn green, and then start moving up, right? The algos, like I said, explain that they need to pop up above there, above the center line here. The 200-day looks good, right? That was my time frame between here and here. You have the KDJ, right? You have it rolling over. Now you can draw and extend the line of the 3-day somewhere between here. Then that wouldn't have happened. Then you would have went here, found this top there while it rolled over and crossed its line here, right? And then you've seen on like each one of these are the buying and selling pressure from each candlestick, right? You can see how the selling pressure continued to rise, as well as the volume continued to drop because it's a volume oscillator with the buying and selling per candlestick. So you can see how it was going into a negative scenario there. You can see how the KDJ did roll over there. This was the whale pump. This is the whale dump. That indicator went off. That's a warning sign. This is my third confirmation. It's going to be these bars that print green or red. Second confirmation is here. First confirmation is here, as well as the resistance zone. Like I said, we had a strong resistance. I can go all the way back to my very first video when I did about Clov. I said this is going to be a strong resistance zone right here. So hoping to break above it, consider it support, shoot off to the moon, right? But we're going to have to back test some levels of support. So it's maintaining its upward trend. Candlestick did turn purple. That right there is a warning sign that we're going to either pull back. We're going to have to consolidate. There's going to have to be some work done at a certain price level. That's what that means, right? So you did have a sell go off on the indicator over here, which was a 2. You had a 2 go off over there. I already said the Fibonacci's got 182. Worst case scenario, 130. Right there, 50%. Was it 220, right? But I'm a heavy buyer at pretty much anything under $2. It's gonna be ugly, but it's gonna be worth it, for long-term hold, right? I like to look at it like I'm bullish on the company. I'm bullish on the direction. I'm bullish on the fundamental analysis. I'm bullish on, the cash flow. I'm bullish on the earnings per share. I'm bullish on the company's direction. I'm bullish on the company. I'm bullish on all of that. Now I want to see bearish action happen on the actual, stock itself, because I'm a buyer for the long term. I want to buy cheap, so that's the way to do it, is to catch these moves to the downside, right? Now, the trend is your friend, right? So if it's not at least having an upward trend, then you're just going to be buying a falling knife. And yeah, unfortunately, that sucks no matter how bullish you are on a company fundamentally. It sucks. So right now we do have we do have an upward trend on the weekly, the 3-day, daily. It's all pretty much in an upward slope, right? Um, so what I'm looking for, right, is the Kenny J to roll over, find some type of support, start squeezing, right, and then having the histogram go positive again. Then by then I would have already purchased something. Once I seen the histogram go down to a certain level, I have a purchase zone, right? When I see certain indicators are all incorporating data together, there's a certain it's time to buy area, right? Um, Now with the time frame, I think I already spoke about that on the 3-day. Now on the daily, this is my point of view. This is where I think how things could play out, right? Bullishly speaking, we already broke that. It was the 280 zone right here. I thought it was going to hold this support, pop back up, bullishly speaking, with that continuous, pounding whale pumps, pounding a buying, right? But nothing goes up in a straight line. You can't have that. Like you're asking for too much. So unless you're talking about an AMC GameStop type of move, in all reality, stocks don't move up like that. We had a hell of a move coming. From 60 cents to $3, right? That was a hell of a fucking move. So $3.50. Where did it top at? Almost $4. Yep, almost $4. So that's a hell of a fucking move. That's like if you would have rounded down to 50 cents, then you're at $4 right there. Sheesh. 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, right? Damn, that's like that was a moneymaker. That was a move right there. But unfortunately, most of us long-term investors, we don't have we don't have values of that level. We don't have bottom value levels, right? Our valuations, our positions, right? They're going to be somewhere, got in back when it first IPO. Shit, you must have averaged down, this whole time. You might be in the $2 range somewhere. At least that's what I want to speculate. Because it took we've been at it for the past 2 years or so, right? So yes, the trough is coming to an end on the daily here and here, right? So this is my buy area. I'm looking for something here. Now, I won't pull the trigger unless my indicators, they're incorporating and telling me together. Fundamentally, I already know. Fundamentally, we're going to the moon, right? But when it comes down to me buying in, I like to buy in at certain levels, right? I like to have certain things going, you know, certain ideas going on, right? And they're all coming together and they're pointing now. That's when I do it, okay? Um, as far as my zones of support, which this one has already been broken, so we're going to delete that. The next level is going to be on the trend bottom, which if time says it will reach this trend, it will do it by September the 5th using the algos as time references, as well as we can do cycle analysis on the trough, right? So you do cycle analysis and do the algorithms together. You're looking at, if it was perfect, right? If like perfection with the cycle analysis and the no, it's probably going to be somewhere right there. Yeah, we'll give it a little bit of slack right there. So it's going to be like the sixth or so, right? Give or take margin of error, right? I would wait for confirmation from the hyperwave, wait for like a bottoming process to occur, wait for the histogram to start, showing less negative, momentum to the downside. I would like to see, you know, a few other things happen here. This is my own little algo wave, right, that I have here that I've created, noticing certain patterns recently, and it's going to be an adjust quickly. This one right here. This is the one that adjusts over the neck, the previous couple of weeks in the past. So I adjust accordingly. Future, thinking forward, this is what I would like to see. I would like to see it consolidate within this zone right here around, we'll say, probably around $3 to the bottom, around 230, maybe you could say 240. By the time it gets there, the trend would already have went up a little bit more, unless it just has a big candlestick down, right? It could, but on average, that's probably around, what was it, 230 to around, let's say, maybe that, around $3. So we'll say two 230, we'll say 230 to around $3. It should consolidate there if it holds this as support, this trend that it's got, and then pop forward. And I expect it to have a breakout from this resistance zone. If not, if that fails, and we have a left-handed translation, we have a rollover happen, and we have us going to test lower areas of support, then I would suspect it to have support here around $1.84. This is an order block here. Center of that's going to be a $1.70. And then if that fails, right? And then this is the complete bottom. Like, it has to bounce here. And if it don't bounce here, we got a problem, right? This is going to be the $1.25, 24 cents area. That's going to be around the center of it. That's my support line that I put in at $1.24. So, yes, that's probably going to hit the 200-day moving average. Yes, that's probably going to be within this time frame here. It would expand. That means the trend would expand. If it did bottom there, at this point in time, somewhere there, then you would see it do something like this here. But that's the worst case scenario, I think. It would start coming up like a microphone, or not microphone, but what do you call one of those phones? An expanding trend. I got to look it up, but it would get wider as it goes. So the top would be greater. It wouldn't be so narrow. It would just be a wider, expanding trend. But it could consolidate. That is also an option. And then I believe by here, if it does, then this one would be the next area. So something like that. That would be the next area. If it finds support at the $1.80 range, $1.83, right? Here, but yeah, that this 120 area, that's considered to be my final level of support. That's when I will start dropping bombs on purchasing right there. Boom, boom, average down, rather than averaging up. I prefer to average up because then I'll be following the trend. But, it is what it is. We can't control the direction of the stock. All we can do is take in the information, anticipate it, maybe, if you're good at it. If you're not, wait for buying opportunities, have some kind of rules, some kind of guidelines, some type of structure that that you have, however your investment style is, right? Let me take myself down off of here. So these are going to be warning signs that the stock, or yeah, the momentum, the stock itself is starting to slip. You can see that happen right after the green. That would be a wait and then purchase, because the overall structure is in a positive structure right here, right? See the blue, that's positive. This, the yellow is negative, yellow and red, blue and green. So you can see all the negative structure. And what's a trip over here is throughout this whole time right here, this sloppy mess of, traders market right here, right? These candlesticks that only go up a little bit, only go down, but they stay in a locked channel, a locked zone, right? I have a feeling that someone was, you know, building a position to the short side since it did break down. And, it was in negative. The market structure was still negative, regardless if it was going sideways. It was just like a slap in the face. Anyone that bought right there, like, no, right? We're all going down. Thought it was going to stabilize, but you weren't looking at market structure. It was negative, right? I mean, you could even bought in at these points times right here where, the buying pressure started going from from a negative to a positive after having a negative structure, going and trying to have a positive structure, right? Trying to this little green right here, right? And then it failing. But what I don't see is any of these third confirmation indicators lighting up whatsoever right here. They completely avoided it. They only lit up afterwards. Yeah, negative. All these whale dumps. They're more clearer on the 3 day than they are on the daily. But that's what I'm looking at. Let me get rid of these lines because it's not confirmed yet. And it's too much of a mess when they start overlapping one another. So this is the trend. We want to see it continue. We want to see it do something like this here with these ghosted arrows, right? Want to see it do, don't want to see it do something like that. Do want to see it do something like this. The algo's saying we're going to go down but stabilize. It could take, like I said before, from around this zone to this zone right here to consolidate, stabilize, and then pop up. That could be a V bottom. We'll see what the indicators say moving forward. Want to see at least some of them start showing green lights. Three-day, says all the way out to October, but you could get it as soon as somewhere in September. Yeah, but where would I be buying? You know, and how I would be buying is the question with this scenario, right? Right here, once $1.80, give or take, or $1.84, $1.83 ish, right? Give or take around 10 cents, you could say, if you want to widen it out, right? So that'd be pretty much $2. Anything below $2, right? Unless it breaks this order block, if it breaks that, then halt. No more buying until we get down to the next one. That's how I would do that. But you would have to confirm it with other things too. That's just using one method of it. You have to confirm it the rollover, the whale dump would have to, hit a critical level, and so far, any critical level is going to be past this 50% mark right here. So anything past this 50% is critical from the short term view. Um, but I would say if the hyperwave went from negative to positive, that would also be another indication to do so. Preferably around the bottom zones of my algal wave that I got here, that I drew in, right? And if it incorporates with the timing with the autonomous running algal wave, right, right here, it starts breaking above this green zone, this green line that I have here, which is considered to be like in a dramatic drop. If it does pass that zone, that would be another indication. So I would like to have them all happen simultaneously. So somewhere, I guess, in the middle of these two where they cross, which is happening right now, right? Somewhere with this upward trend, somewhere where the bottom of this starts to happen. So if I was to draw a line in the center somewhere, it'd be right there. So somewhere within the bottom half of this, somewhere after it crosses into this extreme zone, somewhere where the histogram starts printing um, a higher histogram bar, which or lower on the negative side, right? A lower histogram bar, right? Like I did here, like I did here, right? These are the things I would be looking for, right? Um, and then that would be a purchase, and I would start dollar cost averaging my way down. And the lower it gets, the heavier the dollar cost averaging is going to get, because I already have a position established. And anything that goes into that zone to me is a buy zone. So I would like to see it do something like this. You see how this order block or block order. All right. So you see how this is established here and here, right? If it gets here and it does end up doing what these ghosted arrows do within this time frame, we should start seeing something build up like that in this zone, and then that would be a order block, and then it would establish that as support. It would build it and it would move forward. So yeah, the time frame. I guess that's going to be the most important takeaway. But you need confirmation. Fibonacci say right here $2.20, $2.22, $2.84, and $1.30. So yep, for me, anything that if it as long as it's supporting the upward trend, anything around this upward trend, the next level would be a cement, pretty good buy coming up here around this price zone, and then boom, I would hit it heavy right there at $1.20ish, $1.30ish, $1.10, somewhere around that, going hard and heavy. Well, that's my TA on Clover Help. Wanted to have some music in the background, but chose not to this time. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day.